live.
Hey, everybody.
And Hernan is eating, so he can't talk.
I'm
What's
eating.
up, everybody? Hump the
everybody,
Hangout number
welcome.
286 here.
Who wants to go? I'm sorry.
It's a train wreck, guys. It's a train wreck. Look out. It's over. Hernan is choking on himself. We're all waiting. The screen isn't setting. We're all wondering what the fuck's going on. And yet, our shit still works. So we don't give up.
There you go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hump the Hangout.
I gotta do this now.
Dining Hump the Hangout. What do you got there, Marco?
Yeah, I gotta have a beer, man. Carta Blanca, Mexican beer.
I'm drinking coffee. It's still too early for beer, so.
5 o'clock. Well, it's 5 o'clock here, so
it's 5 o'clock somewhere, man.
That's right.
And I don't know who set that rule. If it's hot and humid and you need to cool off, have a beer.
Exactly.
The problem is when that beer leads to 1,000 more in the next.
That's my
weeks,
problem.
Right? Okay, now that's a problem. Me, I'll drink with this one. I won't touch another one for a couple of weeks, a month, 3 months. Who knows when the next one will be?
All right. So let's start over. Chris, you want to say anything?
Go.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I have an open mouse. Like everything's really clear. Weather is nice. Even it's a bit colder, and I guess it's with everybody because I see everyone here in pullover, except Marco as usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, things are good.
How are you doing, Bradley?
Oh, I'm peachy. Just happy to be here.
Awesome. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hump the Hangout. If you haven't noticed, we're missing a really important team member of the crew because otherwise we do this in a much more linear, much more professional fashion, but I'm in charge of emceeing now and I don't have any idea what I'm doing. So with that being said, welcome to Hump the Hangouts. Today is the 6th of May, 2020. And if you're watching this and you're wondering what the hell is going on, what we do here is we try to answer all of your digital marketing questions. So if you have any SEO, digital marketing, how to grow your agency, how to get better results with your rankings, go ahead and go to semanticmastery.com/Humday to actually ask all of your questions, drop your questions in the comments below. Now, with that being said, and before we jump right into questions, we are really honored to get a lot of support from people in our list and in our community for the new version of the battle plan. Unfortunately, the launch price and launch deal and everything is done, but you can still get the newest version, which is version 4 of the battle plan by going to battleplan.semanticmastery.com. And the battle plan is a step-by-step blueprint, a system that will allow you to go from 0 to getting results within the search engines. And that applies for new websites. If you're starting a brand new project, for age websites, if you have a website that has been going on for a while, but you want to give it that extra oomph, if you would, for YouTube channels as well, and for a lot of additional stuff. So go to battleplan.semanticmastery.com. Now, if you want to take your agency, if you serve clients in any digital capacity, right? You do SEO for them, but you also do PPC, web design, graphics design, social media management, whatever that is, and you want to get more clients, and you want to get more free time, and you want to get clients that are worth coming to you, then go to 2xyouragency.com. That is number 2 letter X, youragency.com, to actually get access to double your agency and get all of those tools. It started as a project, but then Bradley, as usual, is over delivering with value, and it's mind-blowingly good. It's really good. I don't think we're charging enough, but we'll keep it like that for a little bit. And again, if you like what you're seeing, go ahead, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you subscribe so that the YouTube algorithm keeps on showing you the good stuff. We have a Facebook group as well, SEO tutorials and digital marketing by Semantic Mastery. So you can search us in Facebook. And I think that's pretty much it. Did I miss anything?
Yeah. Speaking of over delivering on value, like the battle plan is stupid low priced. I mean, just to me, because it's 10, 100 times more. I mean, some people see it and they say, well, it's just full of links. Well, it's links to what we use to rank. It's what we use to get results. It's everything that we do to get results. So of course, we're going to show you where we go for results. We go to mgyb.co. If you don't want to get the battle plan, go look at mgyb.co, because that's where you have to go to get results anyway. Or else you have to figure it out on your own. We've made it dead simple. Like you follow the instructions. And it's not just that, because some people just see a PDF with links to our stuff. It's not that. It's that PDF is full of information. Not only that, it includes a bonus area, right? Bonuses are included. So you're looking past everything that's offered in that. It leads to a video that we recorded, right? Where we talk about all of these different aspects of what it takes to rank today. And I mean, what we're charging for, I'm glad that we're raising the price. We're not raising it enough. If you want to get in, as I always say, get in when you fit in or not. It's really what it comes down to is, are you an action taker, or do you just enjoy sitting by the sideline and butting your head against the wall? And I mentioned it yesterday. I hear the song Spinning Wheels, right? Spinning wheels got to go around. I see that. Is that what you want to do? Or do you want to go get results? It's entirely up to you. Action takers, go make money. That's all I got to say.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So,
it always comes down to like how many years, or I don't know, like even more than years, do you want to shave off of your learning curve? Like, I don't know, like if we would have had that document when we started, I don't know about you guys, but I would have shoved at least 3 years of my learning curve at an absolute minimum.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So with that being said, go to battleplan.semanticmastery.com if you want to learn more about it. One of the reasons why we sell it so cheap, and people are saying, hey, this is too cheap. What can you guys give me for that cheap? And the reality is that we over deliver, because there's a small amount of people that will decide to take it up a notch and join our mastermind or join the Heavy Hitters Club with Marco and Rob as well. So that's why it's our entry level product. It's great. We blow people's mind with value, because a small portion of them will end up in our higher programs. We're so super open about it. We don't have any issues with that. So with that being said, and unless we have anything else, we can jump right into questions.
Speaking of value,
where the fuck is Adam?
He's out running in the woods today. Speaking of value, the other super valuable course is the 2x your agency training, guys. That's for the price that we're charging, which I think is ridiculous. It is an enormous amount of content about how to double your agency, starting with how to fill your pipeline full of prospects. The second part of it is how to get consistent, reliable, repeatable results. And the third part of it is how to scale your operations. And so that's something else that I would highly recommend those of you that are looking for how to grow your consultancy business or your agency, that you would pick up 2x your agency. Go to 2xyouragency.com. You can check that out as well, because again, once again, don't let the price fool you. We put a ton of work into that. It's a 12-week course. You get it all at once. It's not dripped out, but it took me 12 weeks to record all the training for that, because we really wanted that as a way to kind of help people jumpstart their agencies or to grow their agencies without having to double their time investment as well. And so I would highly recommend you go check that out, because that's all of our knowledge kind of from the last many years that we've been together, kind of boiled down or condensed down into the 2x your agency training. So I would encourage you to check that out as well. With that said, let me grab the screen. Sorry guys, I've got a real estate thing I'm trying to
close all the let's keep it PG-13 please, and Bradley. So close all of the
let's keep
the other stuff.
Sorry,
while we are hitting edit,
real estate closing that was falling apart. I've been trying to recover all day long. So anyways, go ahead. Sorry, Chris.
I just wanted to say, like, that the 2x your agency, even it's built for agencies. I see it like also like, even if you're a solopreneur or something like that, you're running your kind of small SEO business and just do client work. That's literally how you can automate things, and like how you put the systems into it to actually scale the whole thing. And I think that's always like something that nobody mentions. And because the whole thing is called 2x your agency, there are people who don't even have an agency, or they don't consider themselves as having an agency. That's literally how you can grow your business. At least I see it that way.
Sweet. Well, let me grab the screen and we'll get into these questions, guys.
Go.
All right, you guys seeing my screen, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Let me find out where we're at. Mohammed's up first. First in line. What's up, Mohammed? Hey guys, I have an e-commerce store that's been live for about 3 weeks now. I've been sending traffic from Facebook, but I also ordered a Power Shield for the store. I've noticed there's still zero action on Google and Webmaster Tools, even though the site is indexed. It has absolutely no impressions. Am I just impatient? I've only been in local SEO until now, so maybe I've come to expect a faster start. My syndication network is done. The ROIS got delivered today, so maybe it's a matter of time. It could also just be a reporting delay. I don't know. Sometimes that occurs, and with all the shit going on now, that very well could be it. But Marco, do you know of any like sort of reporting delay that's occurring right now?
No, there's only a 2-day delay in Search Console now on performance, because I'm even looking at it right now, and I'm getting Monday reports.
Okay.
So no, there's nothing going on in there. Mohammed is just being impatient.
Yeah.
Because 3 weeks is nothing, and he just now got the SEO Power Shield delivered. There's still link building to be done. There's still press releases to be released and link building to that. There's embed runs to be done. There's entity validation to continue and entity solidification to continue, because it's going to depend on what kind of market he's in, what kind of niche, right? To see what kind of results he gets. It's just now a matter of time. Just keep an eye on Search Console and analytics, and they'll start giving you feedback on what you're getting, what do you call it, displays for. I know that they don't call it displays. That's what I call it, on impressions, right? In search, and you can start making decisions off of that. In fact, I shared a video in Heavy Hitter Club. I think it's in the members only group, where I showed how I get data out of Search Console and how you target money from Search Console, because there is a lot of information in there that people are not aware of, or people may interpret incorrectly. I hear a lot of people knocking it, and yes, it does have its drawbacks, but there's actually really good information, and it's Google telling you what information it's getting from your project. So why wouldn't you pay attention to what the bot is giving you? This isn't Google. This isn't Google speak. It's the bot that's giving you the data. So I'd pay special attention to that.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. If it's new, it very well could be that it's not receiving a lot of impressions yet, because it, like Marco just said, it's brand new. So I think what he said is true. You're being a bit impatient, Mohammed. If you still haven't, also, how did you add the site? Did you do it via DNS record? So it's a domain wide, it's the domain. Did you submit the domain via DNS record or submit it via URL? Because that, I think, has an effect too. I try to do everything using DNS records now. So I don't know. I would check into that also. The second part was the next question from Mom. It says, "Hey guys, what's the proper response when someone, be it a client or another SEO, wants to know how I get results? I don't want to mention RYS, ID, so like the ID page, and other secrets of the battle plan. My strategy so far has been to show them past successes and leave it at that. But my downfall is when I charge for the done for you services and they ask what the money is for. How can I better my approach?" Well, all right. So the way that I handle it is the only time that clients see anything, or prospects, when I'm presenting a proposal. In my proposal, I will put some of the entity assets down, and as part of the overall deliverables that are going to be delivered with the setup process. And then for my ongoing monthly services, I mentioned like link building, traffic. So because I run Google ads for traffic, display ads and such. But typically I very rarely ever get any questions about what they are specifically. When they do, then I'll just show them an example of what like a done for you, or what a Google Drive stack looks like from another client, or from a lead gen project that I have, or something like that. But I don't get into explaining how everything works, because it's really none of their business. Like, honestly, as long as I can produce results for them, it would be like asking, any other professional in another industry for what their proprietary methods are for doing whatever their job is, whatever their profession is. And so, I typically will we'll try to provide enough information to satisfy their, their curiosity without giving away the farm, because otherwise, most of the time they're not going to understand it anyway. So what's the point in wasting your breath? So typically what I'll do is, like I said, on the proposal side of things, I explain through a video email, Mohammed, I know you're very familiar with that, but I explain through a video email an explanation of what the proposal is, what the deliverables are, and what an expected, time frame for results is. And then from that point forward, all the other stuff that I continue to order through MGYB to get clients results is just part of the monthly retainer. So it never comes up again. Does that make sense? Occasionally a client will say, because I do provide monthly reports, and I not every month, but most of the time, or at least every other month, I'll provide a video email with my monthly report. So I'll kind of go over the reports and show them, where progress has been made, where I see new opportunities, where maybe some things have slipped a little bit. I always try to be real honest, and I like to use video emails to do that. That usually satisfies any questions, so that I very rarely get follow-up questions. And when I do, then I'll just, try to explain it a little bit further. But like I said, I think it's important to, be able to explain what it is, show that you can produce results without showing exactly how, if that makes sense. Marco, maybe you can articulate this in a way that is a little bit more clear than the way I am.
No, I mean, that what you said is clear to me, but let me put it this way. When I give a client a proposal and they give me something like that, say you're talking to an attorney, I mean, are you going to ask him to break down why he's charging you 50% of whatever the lawsuit settlement is, for example? Or when you walk into a car showroom and you're going to purchase a car, do you ask for a breakdown of what all the auto parts come to, and the labor and the expenses, and do you ask the dealer all of that information, or do you go into the negotiation for that car on the price? Okay, they'll charge you 20. You offer 18.5 or whatever, and then you meet at somewhere in between. How I see this is, it's ridiculous for a client to expect you to give them a breakdown of everything that you're going to do, and there's absolutely no way and no reason for you to be saying, I'm charging you for done for you services. What you're charging for is results.
That's right.
What you're charging for is what you're going to do for these people. They're paying you for your expertise in the matter as far as getting results. Now, if they want the how, that's consultation. And that's way more than they could ever pay, because you're actually going to teach them how it's done and how to get results. And it's not something that's done overnight. I was just talking to an attorney the other day, and I wasn't talking, I emailed. And what she wrote back saying, you're speaking a foreign language to me. And I say, that's why when I hire an attorney, I don't want to know or learn the law regarding whatever it is that I'm hiring an attorney for.
That's right.
Just as when you hire an SEO or a marketer, you're not expected to know everything that the SEO or marketer is going to know. Otherwise, you spend all of your time learning marketing and SEO instead of concentrating on what it is that you do best, which is the law. So Mohammed, again, and we've gone over this before with you, you have to focus your presentation on the results that you're going to get, what it is that you're going to do, not how. They're not entitled to how. They're not ever entitled to how. They're entitled to their brand, of course. They're entitled to tier 1 branded. Although we call drive stacks and G sites part of tier 1 branded, they're not. That's part of your how. That's how you get results. They're not entitled to that, or anything else for that matter. Press releases, it depends on how you're charging for them and how they're focused. Yeah, they're entitled to that media page, but nothing else. As a matter of fact, that IFTTT profile that you're going to create that's going to trigger the T1 branded, they're not entitled to those logins, because that's part of the how. I never give them that. You're not entitled to my recipes or whatever the fuck they call now, because I don't do them. I just hire mgyb.co. But this is really important, and why you should guide the information. And man, I have a call that we recorded with someone. We got to get permission from that person, I think, and from all the people involved, so that you can listen to the negotiation and listen to me go through an actual attempt at closing the client. It was the second call with the client, and I tried to close him right there. Unfortunately, it didn't go like planned, and He didn't say no. He said he'd think about it, but that's almost like a no. Anyway, Mohammed, I hope that helps. But you're focusing on the wrong things, and you're mentioning the wrong things. Definitely, bring them back. If they get off success, you bring them back. If they get off what it is that you're going to do for them, you bring it back, and you bring them back to what it is you're going to do. I'm going to get your phone to ring. I'm going to get your phone fills, form fills, and I'm going to get people on in your website. Anything else that I have to tell you, I have to charge you for, and then you set your hourly price, 500, 2,000. It doesn't matter. You make it high enough so that it hurts if they have to pay you consultation.
There you go. So yeah, and just to kind of follow up, like I said, you know, the done for you services that I continue to purchase for clients, you know, that's just part of the monthly retainer, and I factor all of that in when I first present the proposal, so that I don't have to go back to them and charge them for additional items, you know, unless they ask for additional stuff, if that makes sense. So I typically, you know, I work right into my monthly retainer fee what I'm going to be spending on link building and embed gigs and press releases and my blogger to publish posts for the project. So all of that is factored right in right off the bat, so that I just continue to order the services and pay, you know, VAs and things like that to fulfill my obligations as per our agreement, but I don't have to explain it away because I'm not asking for additional money. It's all part of the original agreement. So, okay. All right, the next question is, I've been trying to reach the Curation Suite help desk in Scott Scanlon, but no one is returning my requests. I watched Brad on one of their videos, so I'm reaching out to you. I was wondering if Curation Suite was still working. As far as I know, no. I don't work for them. We don't have any relationship with them other than the fact that for a brief period of time, they had a really killer system. And I know that we had used it for a bit, and I believe we even did a promotion with them, but that was 3-4 years ago now. And within several months, or within a year or something like that, within a year of us doing a promotion with them or whatever, it kind of fell off the map. And I know Adam had talked about that, and like, man, that was several years ago. So it's a little bit foggy even for me, but unfortunately, we don't have anything to do with Curation Suite other than that. Like I said, that one time we did use their tools for a while, but when they started to intermittently work, in other words, they weren't always working, and we also noticed that they weren't replying to support requests and everything else, we dropped it. We took Curation Suite out of all of our processes, and it's funny because it might have even been you asking this question in the Facebook group, but that question's come up recently in the Facebook group, and somebody was asking about Curation Suite. And they asked, well, what am I using for, what does my team use for curating blog content? And, you know, the same thing that I teach in Content Kingpin, guys, that hasn't changed. We've tried different curating tools, but honestly, I had taught all my bloggers how to curate by organizing content using feedly.com, and they post, or they curate posts manually in WordPress. And that's the same process that I teach in Content Kingpin, is the exact same process that my team has been using since 2012. Again, we have tried different tools, but we always have come back to just doing it manually, curating, organizing content in feedly.com, and in manually curating blog posts. It just works that way. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of the tools that we've tried have had issues where they stop continuing development or supporting their product. We've tried multiple plugins that have gone under, that the developers stopped supporting it. Curation Suite's another example. And so instead of always trying to rely on the fancy, shiny the new shiny and fancy objects out there that are supposed to make everything so much easier, right? The problem with that is you invest time and resources and energy and money into trying to implement new tools or apps that should help with those kind of things. And unless they're a very well-established company that have been around with a long-established history of support and updates and all of that kind of stuff, I don't recommend using any tools. You can do it manually, and that's the beautiful thing about virtual assistants and outsourcers. You can teach them a manual process, and then in my eyes, it's automated. Right? It's been delegated, and it's going to get done manually, yes, but it's being done by somebody else. So in my mind, it's an automated process because I don't have to do it anymore. And then again, like I said, we don't have to rely on tools. and apps that may or may not be around in 6 months, a year and a half, whatever. So again, I'm sorry I can't provide you some more assistance with Curation Suite. It's nothing I can help you with. We haven't been in touch with Scott Scanlon in years. So I would recommend that you just continue trying to find some way to contact him. You know, sometimes you got to stalk these people, man. Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you can find information and try to get support, especially if you've already spent money. Any comments, guys?
No, I mean, it was fantastic when it was first working.
It kicked ass, yeah.
It was fantastic. You could pull a whole lot of content, right, to curate, and then all of a sudden it started being buggy, and then I moved on to other things because I was using it. I don't even know where I have it installed now. I probably have it installed somewhere, but yeah, it's just buggy. And guys, not everybody has the years in the business like we do, and not everybody can support a group like we've done, for example, in our free SEO group, which is I think our longest. When we had to move from Google Plus, right? That's been our longest running group. We're still supporting it, 5+ years, and we're still there. We can't force everyone to be like that. Some people are just gonna come in, make some money, and leave. That's all they want. I mean, we're in this, but at least from my perspective, and I know you guys feel the same way, but I can only speak for me, that we're in this to try to help people make money. And the only way that you can help people make money is by being there for people when they have questions about making money, which is what this forum, Hump Day Hangouts, which is our longest running forum, it's what it's all about. Helping people who have problems, solve those problems so they can make money.
Yeah. And by the way, just as an aside, I had to look at our corporate documents today for something I was working on, and I looked at our LLC and, you know, like articles of incorporation or whatever, like that showed the date that Semantic Mastery was born, and it was in February of 2014 is when we actually incorporated. So that's pretty amazing. It's been over 6 years now. So, and we've been together for we were together for a year and a half prior to us, you know, incorporating and starting the actual company. So we've been together quite some times, guys. That's
longer than
impressive.
that, because it was end of 2012, I think, when we started meeting in the other mastermind.
That's what I said, about a year and a half prior to us incorporating.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty amazing, because I've had many other partnerships that have all fallen apart. It's very difficult to work with partners, in my opinion. But it's worked really well for us at Semantic Mastery. And, you know, 6 years later, we're still together and we still like each other. So anyways, Mike says, hello, Kings of SEO. Can you share some basic steps when building a new website? Number one, especially about what to do when the site ain't ready to publish. I'll tell you what I do. Again, there may be differing opinions between my partners and I, but I just always publish the site, but set it to no index. So I go to settings, reading. So in WordPress, go to settings and in reading, and then I set it to ask Google not to index the site. Now, whether they choose to do it or not, whatever. But I always just do that right off the bat. That's as soon as the WordPress installation is completed from the server, then I just immediately go in, and now I have VAs do it, but go in and click the button to no index the site, and then we just build the site out however long it takes. And then once the initial site is done with the initial pages, and sometimes, to be honest with you, we'll even uncheck it so that it, uncheck that box to allow the site to index prior to it being 100% complete, as far as like all the pages or the widgets and that kind of stuff. What we do is get the main structure of the site in place, the main top of silo pages, we get the content in place, and sometimes not even have the images on there, but the structure of the site, the graphics, the theming, the main content pages, at least the text on the pages, and then we'll go ahead and publish the site, or allow it to be indexed. And then from there, I'll go in and make some, tweaks to try to finalize the site. That's just my process. Again, it's probably different for others, but that's the way I do it. You could do like a maintenance mode or one of them coming soon plugins if you'd like. But honestly, if nobody knows of the domain name that you're building the site on, then nobody's going to go visit the site anyways, besides you and your team that's working on it. So in my opinion, having one of those coming soon pages is only important if you've done some sort of, kind of like pre-launch marketing, and people could be potentially going to the actual domain. But for the most part, like I said, nobody knows that the sites that I'm working on, while, until they're actually published and live. So it doesn't, indexed, and I start driving traffic to them. So I really don't even bother with that anymore. Any comments, guys?
Oh, that's absolutely how I do it. On a brand new website, there's no reason to hide it anywhere, put it anywhere, because the client can come in and look at it, and anybody else is going to look at it can come in and look at it, and then send you the feedback on what they think and what they want and what they'd like and all that, and it changes nothing. It'll still be on that domain, and you're actually ahead of the game, instead of putting it in a development server, which is what you should do with a redesign, right? So that you can leave the existing site alone. You go into a dev site, create the website in that development, and then you migrate. There's no need for that. This is a new project. WordPress, no index, no follow. So Google doesn't go in there, although they might. It shouldn't index, but that's how you should do it. That's how Land Solutions was done, by the way, right? The case study, and I haven't even talked about that, how that was created. It was totally done on WordPress. We just set it to no index, no follow until it was ready to go live. Then we took it off no index, no follow, submitted it to Search Console for indexing, and that's how it started. That's how it should be. There's no other reason to hide it. We used to do it to hide it, right? Put it in maintenance mode, but there's no reason for that if you set it to no index, no follow.
Yeah, there's one thing, like, because I'm also reading further, I would not use analytics or any Google tools on the new page yet until it's finished, and I would also not link syndication network or anything like that until there is at least 1 or 2 posts up there, because that's one of the prime reasons that there will be errors. So like I would use those things only once the page is actually ready and I can actually roll it out.
Well, I will differ slightly on that opinion, only because while I'm building the site, and that's one of the things I've always done, is built the site, but I've been working on, I'm about to show you guys inside of Process Street, which is the tool that I use now, or the app that I use for developing SOPs, standard operating procedures. And I've spent the last month or so working on developing the processes for the site builds, because that's something I've always done myself. But what I was about to say was, when you publish a new WordPress site, you've got the Hello World post. The Hello World post is just a placeholder, basically, but it's an item in your RSS feed. And so I always order the syndication network immediately once I have the site published. Whether it's indexable or not, it doesn't matter to me. Once the site is published, I have an RSS feed with the Hello World post in it, so I can order the syndication network so that can be built, because it's going to take 2 weeks or whatever for me to have it delivered. So I build out the site while the syndication network is being built. As long as that RSS feed has an item in it, they can still plug it into Ifttt to create the network. Because remember, when we build a network, we plug an RSS feed into it, and it has to have an item or it won't read the feed, and it will give you a connection error. But they don't. Our network builders will go find related content and post the first couple of posts on the blog sites, Blogger, WordPress, and Tumblr, so that it's related content. It's to season or to seed the network sites with related content. And so the content's published, but it's not being syndicated yet from the WordPress site. In other words, it's not content being syndicated from the WordPress site. It's just content that our builders put onto the site, so that once the site is ready to be indexed and ready for blog posts, then the syndication network's already in place. So that's just my process. It's so that the network can be ready when I'm ready to start publishing posts.
I totally agree with that. And you mentioned it. I don't link it together. I would do it exactly as you said.
Okay. Here's an example of, you were asking about some of the most important things. I can't really scroll through here, guys, because a lot of this stuff has, like, this is the standard operating procedure for a new, for setting up entity assets for a new client. You can see it, it's right up there. And this is for a multi-location client, but this is the process. I can't scroll through here, guys, and show you the processes. If you want this kind of stuff, you got to join the mastermind. I share this stuff in the mastermind. In fact, this project specifically is a project that I'm building out in sharing everything that I'm doing in the mastermind. So again, another reason to come join the mastermind. But here's basically, and this is a work in progress. I'm still not 100% done with this. I'm probably only about 60% of the way through getting my process completed for this. But this is all the stuff that I do, right? And again, just, go back and watch the replay or take a screenshot. These are the plugins I like to use. Google Tag Manager, all of that. Once I agree with what Chris said. Typically, I will wait to add the Google Tag Manager, and from Tag Manager is when I connect Google Analytics, Search Console, also Google Ads for remarketing tags, conversion tracking. All of that stuff gets done through Google Tag Manager. So I usually wait to do that until after I have the site live, published, ready to be indexed, as well as the syndication network back, and preferably the SEO Shield back, so that I have the ID page URL ready to go and all of that, so that when I add structured data, which again, that's down here, JSON LD, structured data, organization schema, local business schema, all of that stuff, you can see this is all the stuff that gets done whenever I'm starting a new project. If that makes sense. By the way, guys, if you haven't checked out process.st, so it's Process Street, but it's process.st. This is a fabulous, fabulous application for developing processes or standard operating procedures. For years, I primarily just used Google Docs and YouTube videos, but this is so much better. And so you can see, like, again, I can't scroll down through here, but I get super detailed in these. And it's like you could take somebody green, like cold off the street, and plug them into one of these processes, and they could build a WordPress site to my specifications by just following this step-by-step procedure. So I would encourage you guys to start using this. Look, even if you're not going to build out full-on, well-detailed standard operating procedures for the operations that you execute in your business, which I recommend that you do, because that's how you start to delegate the shit that only you do right now. Does that make sense? Is to by documenting what it is that you do. But even if that's more than you're willing to bite off right now, right? If that's too much, I would encourage you just to start creating simple checklists for absolutely everything that you do. Whenever you're doing something in your business that you don't already have a checklist for, just take a few moments and just document the main points of the things that need to be covered or completed in order to complete that task. Because what I found, and again, I've just recently kind of bought into this kind of mindset or this methodology, because I've read a couple really good books. The Checklist Manifesto was really good. Another one was called Black Box Thinking. Two really good, and I didn't read them. I listened to them on Audible, to be honest with you. They were really, really good books that kind of woke me up to the idea of having checklists is not, a lot of times it's our ego that says, oh, I don't need a damn checklist. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, but sometimes we get in a hurry, or we get distracted, and we might miss steps, or we take shortcuts. And so just having a checklist can kind of help you to be more efficient, make sure that things are done always consistently, right? So that you're not missing steps on some projects that were completed on other projects, and then you're wondering why your results aren't the same. And then also from checklists, like I said, that's the really starting point for being able to develop standard operating procedures that you can then pass off or delegate to somebody else, so that you can remove yourself from the process entirely. So I would encourage you to check out Process Street. They have, I think, a free option that allows you to develop just simple checklists. And I would start there if I were you. Okay. Any comments, guys? Nope. Okay. So that was the must-have steps. So there you go. All right. The next question is, Austin says, oh, this is more of a comment. He says, I received the second part of the SEO Power Shield yesterday, and it's another fantastic job. I've built many of these Stacks G sites by hand, and I'm very particular on how I like them to look, since many do rank. Your team exceeded all expectations. Excited to see the ID page next. Austin Don, I know you're in the real estate flipping business, and I'm glad you like them. And honestly, like I keep telling you, you got to come join the mastermind, buddy, because there's a lot of stuff in there we could go over. And I was teaching the land flipping business, which isn't fully relevant to you, but it's very closely related. And so we've got some training on that stuff too. So I'd love to see you in there sometime. Next is, hello everyone. I'm planning, to buy the SEO Shield. So I came to know that I also have to submit the 400 keywords. Well, actually, it's 200 is what we recommend. Unless that changed in the last 24 hours. I was just in there yesterday again, and it was 200 keywords. It's still 200, right?
It's 200 or more.
Yeah, 200
And-
minimum, right?
And the or more is for that keyword, that deep keyword research that we do at mgyb.co, right? Because that's hundreds of thousands of keywords sometimes that we find to push into that branded drive stack for keyword relevance. So yes, by all means, submit as many as you want. And the second part of that is no, they don't have to be on the website. They have to be related to the niche. I mean, they have to be, or else you're breaking the relevance. What's the point of putting something that's not relevant, right?
Right.
So yes, please, 400 keywords. They don't have to be available on your website. In fact, your website will get impressions for keywords that are not on your website. How incredible is that? Google finds the relevance between the G site and drive stack and your website to the point where you get impressions for keywords that don't exist, that are not, I don't want to say physically, that are not on your website. That, to me, that just shows the power that you can generate from these drive stacks and G sites.
Yeah, and I totally agree. As long as the keywords absolutely should have to be relevant. The goal here is, especially with the first drive stack, when we're trying to create the association, the brand association plus your primary keyword, you want to use market level keywords, and I want to be clear about that. If you're doing a local project, you don't want to include your keywords plus location modifiers. Not for this. When you're ordering the drive stack, which is the branded drive stack, right? So that's to build the brand, solidify the entity, and make that keyword association with whatever your top primary keyword is, the number one most important keyword to your business or to the project that you're working on. Now, once that has been delivered, so hold on, back up. So those should be market level keywords. So keywords that are not including location modifiers, okay? They should all be relevant. You can have long tails in there, that's fine. But also I do want to make a note of this. Make sure that when you place the order that you have at the top of the keyword list that you upload as a notepad file, a text file, that you have your most important keywords at the top of that list, or you make a note of that in the ordering comment, like the comments or additional instructions section of the order form at the bottom of the page. You make sure that you make a note of these are my most important keywords, 5 or 10 or whatever they are. Because if you don't, and I made this mistake and I learned the hard way, which it wasn't MGYB's fault, it was my fault, is I had submitted a list of keywords that had, for a tree service project, the same one that I'm sharing in the mastermind right now. That's what that process doc was we were looking at just a moment ago. I had ordered a location shield. So an ID, anyways, I added the keyword list that had a bunch of keywords, but I didn't put my most important keywords at the top of the list. And so the drive stack got built out and the G site got built out with just the top level keywords were like the primary keywords because they were listed at the top of the text file. And they weren't the best keywords, right? They were like tree service cost, tree removal cost, tree trimming cost. Like there was a lot of cost keywords that just happened to be at the top of the text document that I submitted. And so I learned a lesson, and that was to always make sure that you specify what your top level keywords are. Either, like I said, add them to the top of the list or make a note. And I would recommend that you always comment and add in your additional instructions. These are the most important keywords. Please use these. And that way you make sure that the primary pages on the G site and everything are going to be built out around those types of keywords. It's not a big deal because, again, this was a test that I'm doing anyways for this location shield. But I just wanted to point out that it's really, really important to use market level keywords. Now, once you get that stack back and you do the theme mirroring and the drive stack expansion to where you're now covering like individual silos within the site. Now there, if you're doing a local project, you can start to sprinkle some location modifiers into the keyword list that you add for like link building campaigns, for example. And as an aside, kind of, it's related, and I'm just going to tease this a little bit, but we have started, again, as mastermind members, possibly Heavy Hitter Club too. Marco can correct me if I'm wrong, but we have started beta test, allowing a few beta testers to come in and test our drive stack expansion service, which will allow us to, we're working on trying to roll that out to the general public, to you guys. but we always offer our mastermind members the first crack at those kind of things. And the Drive Stack expansion service is the theme mirroring service done for you in MGYB. Marco, you want to chat about that just briefly? Or is that still supposed to be quiet?
No, yeah, because we're not ready for it. We're not ready for anything except what we posted in the groups. And paid membership has its privileges. You get to test this stuff out first. You get a big discount coupon so you can take advantage of it. But you have to be on the inside to be able to take advantage of that.
Well, there you go. So it was a little tease. More coming as the beta testing. We work out some bugs and kinks, which is always the case. That's coming. We've been Marco and the team, his team at MGYB have been working on this for months and months and months. And probably for well over a year now, actually. And we're close, guys. We're real close. All right, the next question is, I just recently read the Battle Plan 3.0 that I got last year. I didn't realize it wasn't recommended to do a multi-tier syndication network for a blog. It's okay if you did it, though. It's not going to hurt, provided you add additional content feeds to your second tier triggers. We talk about that a lot. We have help files on our knowledge base. So anyways, since I had already purchased it and I had it connected, what is the best way to continue using it? Disconnect the tiers, syndicate other content to the additional tiers. That's it right there. Syndicate other content to the additional tiers. Should I just curate other content and post it to the 3 blogs of tier 1 and they will syndicate out to the other tiers? I wouldn't do that just because that's a lot of manual work unless you got somebody doing it for you. I would just recommend, again, you can go to, in fact, I'm just going to walk you through this really quick. Go to, I think it's support.semanticmastery.com, right? I'm going to show you where you can find help files about this. Go to the knowledge base. And if you go into Syndication Academy right here, and you take a look at the multi-tiered, there's several different help files in here that I talk about, like, for example, how does syndication work with the tiered networks? How do tiered IFTTT networks work? You can go through here and there's some really detailed training that I've put in here about how to do this. Like, for example, an explainer video and all that kind of stuff. Long story short, just go add some related content feeds to your second tier trigger points, right? So that's your second tier IFTTT accounts that are going to publish to, or that are going to publish out to the second tier networks, essentially. What you want to do is find related content feeds. You want to add additional applets in those IFTTT accounts that trigger to publish to the second tier networks, and you want to put them in. What I recommend is a minimum of 2 additional content feeds per network. So if there's 3 second tier networks, you're going to want a minimum of 6 additional feeds, 2 per network or 2 per syndication ring. Does that make sense? However, you got to keep in mind that, remember, depending on what types of content feeds you're using, some content feeds publish an excessive amount. You don't want to do that because you could possibly have your second tier networks, especially the blog accounts, terminated for over publishing. So there are ways to throttle that down a little bit. For example, you can add in an IFTTT, when you create an applet with using an RSS feed as the trigger, you can add a filter that only allows items that contain a particular keyword, for example, for it to publish or for it to pass. In other words, trigger the applet to fire. Okay, so you just have to be careful. Make sure that the related content feeds that you're going to use to trigger the second tier networks, to add additional content to them. Just be aware of what types of content are publishing on those feeds, how often they publish, that kind of stuff, so that you can throttle it down if needed to. Okay. Also, one other thing very briefly is Damon Nelson's RSS Masher is a fantastic tool for that kind of stuff. And again, I don't even have an affiliate link for that. Just go look up RSS Masher and check it out. It's we did a promotion with him. It's a great tool for creating spliced feeds that give you so much more control over what the output side of the feed is. So in other words, you could splice, 5 or 6 really related feeds in, but then you can use the RSS Masher to actually strip out parts of, strip code out or insert code into the feeds and do all kinds of really cool marketing things that make beautiful syndicated posts from other people's content. So that's something you should look into. Okay. Comments, guys? Okay, next question then. Hi, 2 quick questions here after reading Battle Plan 4.0. Does the whole SEO shield work for websites in other languages, Spanish, German, etc.? Can you answer that, Marco, or somebody?
We haven't tested it. So I don't want to speculate. We haven't tested it in other languages. We've tested all of our stuff previously in other languages, and yeah, you can work English to other languages like link building and all that, but I don't want to speculate.
Okay. Yeah, and I've never done anything outside of the U.S. based English SEO, English based projects, so I honestly couldn't answer that either. So the answer is we don't know. Number 2 is, can the money site URL be transferred to a new domain if needed, i.e., if client stops paying? Excuse me. How much work is involved? Thanks. Can the money site URL be transferred to a new domain? I don't know what you mean, other than if you have control over the domain and a client stops paying, then it's your domain. You can do whatever you want with it, right? You could redirect it so that all of the off-page work that you've done still gets directed to where you want it to go, but you have to have control over the domain. So again, if it's a client site and you're doing all the work to a client site directly to their domain, then you won't have the ability to do that. In SEO Shield, you could change that out. It would be a manual process of going in and actually changing out the URLs that were built within the stack. But the easiest thing to do would be to just, unless you put a shit ton of off-page work, like link building and such to it, the easiest thing to do would be to just, remove or actually, I would say especially if you've done a lot of off-page work, would be to go in and actually edit the drive stack files and everything. What do you say, Marco?
I say set the drive stack to private, stops the juice flow. It stops it dead in its tracks.
Yeah,
then
but if you wanted to recapture it as well.
Hang on a second. Then you edit and point it wherever else you want it to go. Right. So, and you do the same thing with the G site. You go in and you change it. If necessary, you build a whole new G site, because all the G site should be is just some content with iframes. People miss the point of the iframe. The whole point behind all this is the iframe, getting those iframes in there, getting all of that relevance into that main drive stack, so that you're relating the niche and the brand to all of the keywords in the niche, and that should go with the brand. So what we say at Local is brand plus keywords plus location, or brand plus location plus keyword relevance in that main drive stack. That has been a foundation since day one in RYS Academy. You build all of that relevance, and then when you find that top market level category that you really want to go after, where the money is, then you take that as a keyword and add it as a page to the G site and build a new drive stack that's keyword relevant. That's when we start focusing solely on the keywords, because the brand relevance would come from all of the work that you've already done. Now imagine if you've done all of that work, how long it would take to edit all of that out. So it depends on how much power you've built into it and how much power you'll be pushing, whether it's worth editing all of it.
Yeah.
There's always has to be, work versus ROI. How much work do you have to do, and how much money is that going to be worth to you, or should you just turn it off, kill the G site and start over? That's a question that he's going to have to ask, and that he'd have to know.
Yeah, and that's what I first started to say was that. But if you've done a ton of off-page work like link building, embeds, and such, if you pushed a lot of power into the drive stack, then yeah, absolutely. In my opinion, it would be worth the manual. Like Marco said, you go in and you set it to private, to where it basically stops the juice flow right away. You have everything edited to point to the new destination, and then you turn it back to public. So I totally agree with that. You did a much better job explaining what I was trying to say, Marco, so thank you. Santiago says, if I'm running Google and YouTube ads to a page on my money site, but to a page marked as no index because it is a lead capture page for a funnel, does that traffic count as activity for art? That's a good question. As far as I know, Google should still see that activity if you're running ads to it, especially if you have Google code on the page, like, for example, conversion tracking, remarketing tags, analytics, all of that kind of stuff. But I don't typically run stuff to no index pages for Marco, because if we're trying to tickle like the art, right, that's for SEO. And so if it's a no index page, I don't know, is there benefit to that? A no index page, I meant.
Yeah, I don't see the benefit of no indexing the page, because you're losing an opportunity to rank organically. Your lead capture page should be good enough to display to people, or to have Google come in and take a look and index. Like I don't understand, Santiago, and nothing against you personally or anything. I just don't understand why in the world you would no index something where you could potentially take up SERP real estate.
Yeah.
And even if it's a lead capture page, if it's the top of the funnel, why wouldn't you want that to rank? Why wouldn't you want to capture organic leads?
Yeah.
I'm lost. That question is kind of throwing me off. I don't get it, and so that's why I'm having trouble with it.
Okay, well, since I can't give a good answer either, we're going to move on. We only got a couple minutes left. Anyways, BB, what's up, BB? This time there's only 3 questions as opposed to the typical 5 or 8 or 10. So, and I'm giving you a hard time, BB. I appreciate you coming and asking questions. So he says, hey guys, can we use a press release in English sites with English posts to a non-English site? As far as I know, yes. Because I know we've had a lot of people that have done that. Am I correct in that statement?
I'm still trying to figure out English.
Like, in other words,
yeah.
it's link building to a non-English site, but the PRs are all in English, obviously.
Yeah, that's okay.
Number
Some
2
people
is
have had
what's the
success with that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying some people have had success with that.
Okay. Number 2 is what's the difference between co-citation and co-occurrence? Also, can you define citation? Well, okay. Co-occurrence are keywords that are, in my understanding of co-occurrences, it's very similar to like LSI, latent semantic indexing keywords, related keywords, synonyms, that kind of stuff. But co-citation is basically like if you got 3 different pages that don't directly link to each other. So for example, A links to B, B links to C, and C links to A. Well, all 3 of those pages now, even though there's not a direct link between A and there's not a direct link. Maybe I'm explaining this wrong. Lisa Allen had a really good explanation of co-citation. Marco, maybe you can take over this one. If I can try to find that, that would be great.
All right, so I could just give him the technical definition, because it's simply the frequency or the amount of times that 2 documents are cited by another document. That's a co-citation. So it's a mention of
Yes.
2 other documents by a third document. That's the simplest definition that I can give you.
Okay. So look at that. I just went to Google and searched Lisa Allen co-citation and semantic mastery videos right there. Isn't that cool? Funny
Google
how
it, BB.
funny how this SEO stuff works. Anyways, I'm going to just drop this link in the chat for you. Go watch the first part of the, by the way, her tool's incredibly powerful. It's an SEO tool. It is not a content syndication tool like what RSS Master is, which I also recommend. But she's got a great RSS tool for creating automatically co-citation. It's an automated tool. It's called Rank Feeder. It's fabulous for that stuff. Anyways, go. I'll post this in the comments here in just a moment. But if you just go search for Lisa Allen co-citation, you'll see that video right there, how to create co-citation plus authority sniping for massive, whatever the title was. Go watch that, the training part of that webinar before she gets to the pitch. By the way, buy the product if you think it's going to be helpful for your business, which it likely will be. But it's a great tool. She does a great explanation of what co-citation is and how it helps. It'll give you much more thorough explanation than what we can do right here, right now. Okay.
And can we move on? Because question 2 of his questions is a 5-part question.
Yeah, we're going to have to, because we only got a couple minutes left anyways. Sorry, BB, we're running out of time. Is there any limit on how many 301 redirects domain you can have to do on the syndication redirect domains can you to do on the syndication properties? I don't quite understand that.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hi guys, I just bought the battle plan. Super excited to get started. My question is, how do I get an XXL Semantic Mastery t-shirt? Join the mastermind.
That's it. That's the only place you can get them, or be a Semantic Mastery partner.
Yeah. We send all new mastermind members, we send them a t-shirt, and then they also get books for the first several months. We send a book per month and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of benefits. So come join the mastermind, or come to POFU Live whenever the next one is, which the coronavirus might have killed ours this year. We don't know for sure, but anyways, Was there a Google update today? I don't know. I usually don't know until somebody mentions it on Hump Day Hangouts or in one of our groups.
Yeah, write to support@semanticmastery.com and Chris Greenhow will give you the download link. It's still available.
For
The free one, the free version is still available. It's not, I don't know if Chris P updated that plugin. Of course, the pro version of that is only available to Mastermind members, right? But I'm pretty sure that ours, what's that?
You're talking about the plugin. I was
Yeah.
talking about this up here. Was there a Google update? And then you answered this question. It threw me off.
Oh, sorry, I heard update.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
know.
was.
Update.
There was an update.
There was?
Yeah.
Okay.
May the 4th be with you update.
Okay. Yeah, but just contact support about the RSS plugin. And guys, we got to go. I've got to wrap it up. So, is the new battle plan a big improvement? Yeah, it's been simplified. It's a lot different than the previous versions in that everything's been simplified to make it a lot easier for you guys to apply it to your projects.
And he wants to know if RYS stacks are still working. Can you Google DC plumber real quick?
Sure.
Because we just had an update, right? And it's going to kill everything.
That's it, right?
Oh, look at that. And
Yeah.
look at number 1 organic.
Yep, it's in the map. Number 1 organics, that G site right there.
But it ain't work.
It doesn't work.
This
It
shit
don't
doesn't work.
It don't work.
Yeah, it still works.
Entity-based, worryless SEO for the win.
I got to go, guys. Thanks everybody for being here. We will see you
Bye,
guys
everyone.
next week.